Hey guys, so today I'm gonna share my current favorite dinner recipe with you. I try to make healthy meals as much as I can for my husband and I for dinner, and sometimes it's challenging to find something that's healthy but tastes good at the same time. And I also don't like to make anything that's too complicated because, you know, you just want to make it as easy as possible as you can for yourself. So I found this recipe in a cookbook and I adapted it over time to make it healthier because some of the ingredients that they had suggested to use were too high in salt and sugar, and they said to use ingredients that had MSG in it. And you know, I try to make the meals as healthy as possible. I loved the recipe, but I didn't love some of the ingredients that were in it. So I switched up some things and adapted it to make it more healthy. And so therefore kind of made it my own recipe. So what I'll do is I'll post the entire recipe down in the description box if you want to try it and make it at home. And I'm just going to go over it with you a little bit today. So I was kind of afraid to put the title of what it is as the title of the video because I was afraid that might turn some people off. But, you know, vegetables are so healthy for you, and this recipe incorporates a lot of vegetable type products in it. That's the bulk of it. There are, of course, other ingredients in it, but all right, I'm just gonna throw this out here, and you know, hear me out. If the only way you've ever had cabbage is by having corned beef and cabbage, then you haven't had cabbage. This is so good. I was never a fan of cabbage, okay? My husband loves cabbage because he grew up eating a lot of it, and the only way I had ever had cabbage in my life was corned beef and cabbage. So I was never really a fan of cabbage until I tried this recipe. And well, like I said, I adapted it and changed it to make it more healthy. But this is so delicious that you almost won't even realize that you're eating cabbage. Except for every forkful that you take, you'll see that it's cabbage, but it won't taste like cabbage. So for those of you that don't really like cabbage, you got to try this recipe. And for those of you that do like cabbage, you're going to think you've died and gone to heaven because my husband loves it. Every time I make this recipe, when he comes home from work, if I've made this, he'll walk in the house and go, "Oh, we're having cabbage casserole." He loves it. All right, so here's what you're going to need to make this. You're going to need ground turkey, 1 package of ground turkey. I buy organic turkey because I try to minimize the amount of bad things that are in food as much as possible. I try to buy organic and whole grain things and make the ingredients as healthy as possible. So the picture that I just showed you, of course, is Shady Brook Farms organic turkey. That just happens to be what they sell at the store down the street from me. But, you know, whatever you want to use for ground turkey is fine. If you want to go organic, it's going to be healthier. It's not going to have steroids and hormones and horrible things in it. But turkey is going to be the protein in this casserole. And then the next thing you're going to need is a cabbage. I don't buy organic cabbage simply because I have never come across one in the store, so I just buy what they have. And you want to try to pick out the smallest head of cabbage that you can find because you're only going to need 6 cups of chopped cabbage, and 1 head of cabbage of normal size would be way more than that. So just try to find one of the smallest ones that they have. And then the next thing you're going to need is 1 yellow onion. And again, I just buy regular yellow onions. When I buy them, I just buy them in a, you know what they look, how they come packaged. And because my supermarket that I shop at for certain items doesn't carry organic onions, so you're just going to need one yellow onion, but if you have access to organic, that would be great. And the next item that you're going to need is a can of tomato paste. I don't have access to organic tomato paste where I shop, so I just buy what they have. And you're going to need 1 cup of water. And you're going to need 4 tablespoons of rice. The last bag of rice that I bought was organic and long grain rice, but if you don't have organic and you just want to use regular, that's fine. And if you don't have any long grain rice and you want to use the quick cooking type of rice, that's fine too. It's just not going to be quite as healthy as the long grain rice, which is a whole grain, because the quick cooking kind is already partially cooked and it doesn't have as much nutrition in it because they strip off the fiber on the outside to make it that way. And last but not least, you're going to need 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Okay, so those are all the ingredients that you're going to need. And now what are you going to need as far as other items? You're going to need a frying pan, a large frying pan. And you might be able to tell from the picture that it doesn't have any kind of a Teflon coating on it. You don't have to worry about the turkey sticking to the pan when you cook it because turkey has a lot of water in it, and when you cook the turkey, the water will release into the pan, so it isn't going to stick. So another thing that you'll need is you'll need a medium-sized casserole dish with a cover. I don't know what the brand name is of that casserole dish. I don't know what the size is. It's just a medium-sized casserole dish with a cover. I've had it for a million years and I've just been using it all these years, so I don't even remember. Okay, so this is what you're going to need for items and ingredients. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to chop up your yellow onion into, fairly small pieces. And you're going to chop up your cabbage into chunks about this size. And you're going to need 6 cups of chopped cabbage, and you're going to need the one whole onion. And I would use like a medium to large size onion. And so you're just gonna put those things aside, and when you cut the cabbage, start cutting from the outside portion first and then work your way in, and you can just throw the core away once you have 6 cups. But before you chop up the cabbage, you want to peel off the outside leaves first and throw those away. Peel off like the top 2 or 3 leaves, and then you want to rinse it with cold water, especially if it's not organic, and just get, any dirt or germs or whatever off before you start chopping on that. And of course, you know how to cut an onion, I hope. So just put those ingredients aside. And then what you want to do is you want to cook your turkey on top of the stove in that pan that I showed you. And once the turkey is cooked, and the way you'll know it's cooked is it won't have any pink at all left to it. When you first buy the turkey, it's going to be like a pinkish color, and then when it's all cooked, it's going to be sort of like a white/beige color. So once the turkey is all cooked thoroughly, you're going to put your cabbage and onion that you had put aside and dump that into the frying pan, and you're going to take your 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, your 6-ounce can of tomato paste, 1 cup of water, 4 tablespoons of your rice, whatever it is that you decided to use, and you're going to mix all your ingredients up really well in the pan. Then you're going to transfer it to your casserole dish and bake it in the oven at 350 for an hour. And if this isn't the best cabbage you've ever had, then I don't know what is. But I love this recipe. My husband loves this recipe. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of the finished product. I could have sworn that I had posted a picture on Twitter. I was going to use that as the finished product picture to show you, but unfortunately I can't seem to find that picture. But it's kind of strange looking when it's done, so don't be shocked when you lift up the cover at the end and go, ooh, that is weird looking, because it's going to be mostly a reddish color because of the tomato, but it's really, really delicious. And I hope you'll give it a shot whether you like cabbage or not, because it's really good for you. It's got a lot of healthy stuff in it. Cabbage and onion, whole grain brown rice. You know, it's just really good and good for you. So I hope you'll give it a shot, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.